Welcome, everybody, to the College Basketball Preview Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Today, we're going to look at UCLA versus Indiana, Friday night, Fox nationally televised game. I'm Mike Goodpaster. This is the Grueling Truth Sports Network. Indiana versus UCLA. This is the first time Indiana and UCLA have battled on either of the other's home court since 1956 when UCLA traveled to Bloomington to play IU. All the games in the meantime, pretty much all the games, have been NCAA tournament affairs. 2 out of the 3 turned out well for the Hoosiers in 2007. UCLA beat Indiana 54-49 in the second round of the tournament. But in 1992, Indiana 104-79 over UCLA, one of the greatest games I've ever seen the Hoosiers play collectively. They were on point in that game and just dominated the Bruins. And of course, 1976 in the Final Four, Indiana dominated UCLA then. Now, Indiana was struggling. They lost, 6 in a row, 6 out of 7, something like that. NCAA tournament hopes looked lost. That all changed the other night when Indiana beat Michigan State. UCLA is a team who had won 7 straight games, but they had that streak snapped by Illinois, 83-78 at State Farm Center on Tuesday night. Tyler Bilodeau knocked down 7 of 12 attempts from three-point range, finishing with 25 points. UCLA made a strong comeback effort against the Fighting Illini. The Bruins were down 31-25 at the half. They then fell behind 76-60 with just 4:50 to play. The Bruins used a 13-0 scoring run to cut Illinois' lead to 76-73 at the minute mark, and twice pulled within 2 points. Kobe Johnson scored 14 points. Sebastian Mack added 11 points off the bench in the Bruins' first loss this Monday, January 13th. UCLA is a team that does not shoot the ball well. Their offense is not great, but defensively, they're one of the better teams in the nation. Now, Indiana, in the win against Michigan State, Indiana made an early game switch to a zone defense in the first half after falling behind 18-8 early. Michigan State shot just 38% for the game, including 4 for 24 from 3 against Indiana's zone. Now, will the Hoosiers play zone again? This is a team where I would play zone. UCLA doesn't shoot the ball well. They're a defensive team. They play at a fairly slow pace. Now, Malik Renew and Umar Ballo, the Indiana big men, combined for 33 points and 22 rebounds. Both players battled foul trouble, and Ballo eventually fouled out, but Renew came off the bench and had a dominant second half, pouring in 16 points in the second half. Indiana went to the Renew in the post repeatedly in the final 10 minutes, and he delivered. The Indiana Hoosiers now, with a win against UCLA, will put themselves firmly back in the conversation for March Madness. After the UCLA game at home, they get Purdue at home. You win both of those games, and I think you're sitting right there in that first 4. So the Hoosiers are 15-10. They're 6-8 in the Big Ten, and they snapped a 5-game losing streak against Michigan State. And the Bruins, 18-7, 9-5 in the Big Ten. And Mick Cronin, at the start of the season, complained about UCLA's conference travel schedule. Now, maybe this is why. The Bruins haven't won a game east of Phoenix this season. During an earlier stretch of 5 losses in 6 games, they lost to North Carolina in New York. They lost at Nebraska. They lost at Maryland. They lost at Rutgers. They've won 7 straight games before the loss to Illinois, but all those games were played on Pacific time. They come back out to the East Coast, or not really East Coast, more Midwest, and they lose to Illinois. I mean, Sebastian Mack is a guy that I think the Hoosiers got to keep an eye on. He's UCLA's 3rd leading scorer coming off the bench. And if he comes off the bench, gives a spark, that could make an issue. The Bruins take care of the ball better than anybody in the league. 9.4 turnovers per game. That's a plus 4.4 turnover margin in conference play. When we look at this game, I don't know what the point spread is right now. But Indiana all of a sudden is riding a wave of momentum. I know it's just one game, but this is a team that has been capable of playing the way they did the other night all season long. They just haven't done it. Whether it was the players' fault, the coach's fault, doesn't matter. They have not done it. Was that an anomaly? All right, we're going to find that out on Friday night on national television, because if it's an anomaly and IU gets beat by UCLA, we're back to the same miserable crap hole we've been in as Hoosier fans. Now, you've got 2 of the most storied programs in college basketball history, UCLA versus Indiana. I think this will be a close game. But I think if Indiana comes out and they play and they come out in the zone, I think UCLA will struggle to score. And if UCLA struggles to score, I think Indiana can dominate on the boards. And if you dominate on the boards, you get some putback baskets. That's going to be huge. I think the Indiana Hoosiers are going to win this game, guys. I think somewhere in the area of 70-64, 70-62. But I think the Hoosiers get the win. And if the Hoosiers get this win, Assembly Hall will be rocking when Purdue comes a knocking next week. And that's going to be a great basketball game. I think this is going to be a great basketball game. The UCLA is much better in close games at the end, but Indiana showed something against Michigan State they haven't showed in forever. I think the recipe here is a zone defense, play at a strong pace, pound the ball inside, rebound the ball well, be physically dominant against UCLA, and the Indiana Hoosiers win this game. All right, guys, make sure you follow me on X at Grueling Truth. Like, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and also check out thegruelingtruth.com. But for now, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.